All right, we're back with our homeowner, John, and we're going to look at the technology side of the iControl. John, what I've just did before we started filming is I sent a test email.
Okay.
Just threw a test email out there, went through your router and out into the ether world, and I'm going to go retrieve it right now, and I'm going to show it to you on my iPad.
By the way, thanks for sending my router.
Oh, you're welcome. You can thank the guys at AIE.
Thanks, AIE, because it would have taken me 2 weeks.
Our partners at AIE are excellent. They come in, they follow our plumbing contractors after these jobs, and they take care of the customers' technology needs.
Yeah, these guys found a perfect place for my router, and it took a little bit of effort getting it there, but everything works. Computers work, this works, everything works. Fantastic.
Good job, Mark and Jeremy. Okay, I'm going to grab an email here. So this is the test email. You can see it up in the subject line. It doesn't matter if we get it on the screen or not. But what you're going to see, and you might be able to get that on screen, is you're going to get a remote and a local access in the email. And this is whether it's a test email, an alarm email. It could just be a periodic email that's telling you everything's fine.
Okay.
But we're here in your house, and we're on. Yeah, there's no alarms at this time. We're here in your house. We're on your local router. We're on the same router this is on.
Gotcha.
So we're going to use the local access link, which will pop up the interface of that unit.
Oh, I see. And then I can control it from here.
Yeah. So now this control, these buttons are all live. So if I push a button here, it beeps there, and the screen corresponds. So this is all live, the label or the graphic here is identical to that.
Sure.
So you recognize it, you know how to use it. We can go through, we can run tests, we can change settings and all that kind of thing. But when you're online and using the online interface, you actually just log in. And the default password to log in is 1234.
Okay.
And what 1234 will do is give us these 5 tabs across the top. Now the 5 tabs, the legend is the first one, and it just basically is a little bit of an owner's manual. It tells you what the stuff does, what the buttons do. The next one is configuration. So we could turn this sideways and actually make it a little bit bigger. So configuration tells us how this system in particular is set up. So just pick a couple things. So pump runtime is at 10 seconds. It'll self-test every 12 hours. The name is Howl. We'll white out your phone number there.
Don't worry about it.
And then you can run a pump test. So right here, I'm going to push a button and you'll hear the pump start running.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm going to turn it off. But you'll see results back up here on the screen. System 1 test successful. The next tab is the alarm tab. If there were an alarm, one of these green fields...
This would show me what it's for.
Yeah, the green field would be red, and you could silence it just by touching that red field. It would turn it yellow, which would mean it's silenced. We'll skip ahead here to the there's a history. If you retrieve the history, there aren't any alarms in history because there's a new unit, but it would retrieve the last 24 alarms for you to show you, for some reason you wanted to see what order the alarms came in at, or try to piece back together the power outage information, etc. And then the last one is the emails, and again
it goes through a sequential who it's going to call and contact.
Yeah, and it'll go to all these. Actually, there's email number 1, email number 2, and email number 3. And I'll put mine up here, but each email you can customize. So for some reason you wanted one email to get certain alarms and not another one to get those alarms, like you could put a text address in here, for example. Maybe you'll only want a text if it's something urgent.
Right.
However somebody wanted to configure it. You'll get an IP email if the IP address were to ever change by your ISP. Back on the config screen, I'm going to back up just for a second here. Back to this config screen, there's another field here called AOK Notify, and it's set for 120 minutes. That's just our testing default setting. You're probably going to want it for maybe 7 days or maybe even every day. What that'll do is you're not getting an alarm every day, but you're kind of wondering maybe if everything's okay. The AOK just tells my unit, the controller here, it tells the unit, go out, as long as there's no alarms and there's no other reason, go ahead and send an AOK email. Just a positive reinforcement that everything works.
And I could change this. In the spring, I want one every day.
You want every day, right?
I want every day.
In the winter, maybe once a week.
Right, exactly. So I can configure that to my
as often as you want. Just log in and do it. But then, in order to be a recipient of that email, then you'd include yourself right here.
Gotcha.
AOK email. And then anytime you make a change like that, you're going to hit the submit button.
And just make it take. Sure,
And,
gotcha.
and then the controller says, oh, okay.
What a great system. Can I get this system for other things in my life? Could you set me up with something like this to keep track of my son?
We don't have that attachment yet, but we could work on it.
That's $1 billion idea right there.
We do have other attachments.
Could you attach one of these to my son?
Yeah. No.
So I could find him whenever I want to.
There are other attachments with this system. So for example, you have an ejector pit over here.
Yeah.
We could put a sensor in that pit that communicates with this, and you get an alert if that pit ever
that's filled.
gets high.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's other sensors too for other things. Water sensors for the floor and for like the water heater. Actually, you had a leak over here before.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'll explain why in a minute. But so yeah, there are. The system was actually built to be expandable and scalable.
And you know, the more you have in your basement, the more important this is. So if I had family heirlooms over there, I could have you put sensors in over there that would alert me and send me A-OK emails and
yeah,
if there's trouble.
Sure,
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other things you could even set up motion sensors. Anything that has contacts, you can set up to work through the unit.
And as long as your router's working, as long as your internet's working, as long as your iPhone's working, you're really never out of touch.
That's right.
I tell you, I hate surprises. A couple times in my life, I've come home to floods, and it's not a good feeling.
No.
In fact, the last time when this thing blew up, you know, everything was flooded.
Yeah.
Had no idea what was going on. I mean, my sump pump was going off, but of course I didn't know until I came home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great system. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
Really
Thank you,
happy.
John.
Really happy.
All right,
Great
excellent.
system.
Thank you.